All right. I actually have a couple cool videos. One from Nvidia, which is pretty badass, them using Unreal Engine and some other cool new stuff. So we'll do our AI news. We will do, still waiting for a couple of people to show up as it gets going. So I'll do my non-commercial, commercial, non-commercial break from my friends over at Bitcoin IRA. No, they don't pay me. It's just the only freaking one I trust. So they send me cool little videos and I play them. So anyway, yeah, Bitcoin IRA is the only one I trust. And a lot of our private clients are using Bitcoin IRA. So anyway, because a lot of people, I was talking to Chris this morning, they just don't even know that you can do it, that you can have IRA funds in crypto. And for some people that are just warehousing crypto, like you have no desire to move it, touch it, do anything, then that probably makes sense. So anyway, yeah, there. And I don't have like a cheat code or anything for it. You just basically call them and set up an account and like you park. Like if you're going to hold some Bitcoin, you just hold it over there because you're not going to move it. You're probably not going to mess with it. So it just makes sense. So anyway, yeah. Okay, cool. Now, what else do we got going on? A lot of AI news. Lot of AI news. Hello. 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 And hello. All right. Let's see. We have, let me bring up my AI news banner. There's all sorts of cool Nvidia related stuff, which by the way is one of the top 10 companies on earth now, which is pretty badass. Yeah. I think they're number 9, but they're doing all sorts of cool stuff. So when we get to our AI news, the bit of it that talks about Nvidia, which, Nvidia is kind of at the center of all of this because, they're the ones banging out the chips, the A100s and the H100s. Let me tell you something else. This is a little news tidbit. Let me, here. Let me just write this. This is Cogito news. Is anybody here intending to participate in Cogito? Either raise your hand or say yes, I was going to buy some. I'm going to try to participate, this, that. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Yeah. So anybody who is, let me give you the news. Listen, the fruit can sometimes fall far from the tree. So these geniuses that don't know anything about crypto, they may understand banking. See, I'm not a home teamer. Everything that they do over at Singularity Net, I'm just not a home teamer. It's like I wasn't a home teamer about Charles Hoskinson's dumbass talking about their little meme coin. Like, it's so douchey, man. Anyway, just kind of getting gummed up in that stupid whole thing. But on Cogito, they've decided in their infinite genius, because none of them have any crypto background at all, and they're all from the banking space, HSBC, by the way, which I'm not going to say that they're the number 1 bank for terrorist financing and cartel participation. I'm not going to say that. You'd have to go, spend 13 seconds doing research to find that out. Not that everybody at HSBC is dirty. That's a silly assertion, but that's their DNA. Most everybody there is from HSBC, and they seem very nice, very, very nice team, very smart, seem really cool. But in their infinite crypto wisdom, which they have effing 0 seconds of crypto time, in their genius, they decided not to release the token on Ethereum yet because they're not ready yet. So they're just going to release it on Binance chain. And they're like, yeah, Binance is enough. What do you mean Binance is enough? Binance is a dog smoke platform. It's garbage. It's mostly hacked code. They've been, Jesus Christ. It is the garbagest, most scammy, second to Solana. There's more scammy garbage projects that launch on Binance chain because no one says no. Anybody can launch any hopped up bogus garbage on Binance. No one cares. Try using Pancake Swap when there's more than 4 people there. There's zero liquidity. You can't get out there. Transactions fail all the time. It's complete dumpster juice. So now they had the choice, because I talked to them in the chat. They had the choice of pushing off the token release a few days, just a few days, in order to accommodate the ERC20 token. And they were like, well, we talked to well, how'd they phrase it? We polled people or we talked to people and they just said it wasn't, that they would rather have, they said they talked to the Singularity Net and the Singularity DAO community and that they felt that, Binance Chain was better. Bullshit. No, they didn't. No one said that. And they're like, yeah, they did. I said, oh, really? Did they? Because I personally have half the tokens in the Binance pool, in the Singularity DAO pool. Mine. Half of those tokens are mine. So whoever you polled, you got a bad answer. What, a bunch of nickel and dime ass dudes that have $14? Stupid. Stuff that launches. You ask anybody that's got more than 14 seconds of crypto experience. And if you launch an asset and you just don't think it's important to include Ethereum, you are an effing idiot. And if I see a team make a mistake like that, I got to be incredibly suspect that they can do anything else correct. Anything. So I will tell you this. I'm invested in that project. And I'm telling you, everybody that can hear me, the 3 people that listen to this, do not participate in Cogito on day 1, 2, 3, or day anything at all until they release their Ethereum token, until they get around to it. They said it would only be a few days. Cool. I'll wait a few days. I hope this gets back to them. I hope somebody goes, hey, why are you crap talking? I'm not crap talking nothing. You guys told me this. I'm telling other people this. And they're like, well, we said it in the chat. Bullshit. You never said nothing. This, man, when projects make huge flaps like this, and then they try to explain it away, and then other people come, because I've had like 4 people contact, oh no, it's, we think that was the case in the past. And now things are different. Things aren't any different, dummy. You think Ethereum, hold on, let's see. Let's see if things are different. All we have to do is spend about 14 milliseconds. Oh, weird. What is the second biggest asset in all of crypto? And matter of fact, it's just about just shy of half of Bitcoin's market cap. Oh, that's right. That's Ethereum. Now you can complain about Ethereum all you want. I do. The fees suck. The developers don't give a crap. They're never going to scale. Not really. I mean, not never. They will, but not in any kind of timely manner. And they don't care because they're rich. But you know what? If you're a new company and you think you can launch and you just don't need to launch on Ethereum. Look, even Cardano's smart. Why? They have an Ethereum virtual machine. So you can swap tokens back and forth. Yeah, common flipping sense, dummies. So when you think we're above it. We're above launching on Ethereum. F you is what I say. So cool, you're above it? Well, I'm above telling anybody to spend even 1 stolen nickel on your project. Period. Because that kind of mistake means that team doesn't know shit about crypto at all. They don't understand the market. They don't understand the people involved. Oh, wait, but you know enough about it that you're going to go and tap the crypto market because you want money, right? You want money to build your runway. You're okay with that. You're okay with taking our money. You're just not okay with like having 16 minutes of common effing sense looking around the market. Dumbasses. Really garbage, man. Super garbage. And yes, Phil, that's the reduction. You absolutely have to question the team. It's unfortunately, it's a bunch of bankers that got with some AI people and they have some cool ideas and they don't understand crypto at all. And they understand the market even less. And it is, unfortunately, for them, a funding mechanism. So I don't know how the token's going to do. I don't care how it's going to do. In my mind, I'm chalking it up as a loss. And I'm not putting $1 of extra money into it. I don't care what it does. Now, once they launch the ERC20 token, I'm going to come back and I'm going to revisit it. But from what I got from them yesterday, they're in no hurry to get it done, which tells me they didn't plan for this, which tells me they probably originally wanted to launch the ERC20 token, but they don't understand that you need to audit these things. You need to make sure your token is not some, pile of dumpster juice code. Anyway, stay away from Cogito. How about that? Stay away. Day one is going to be a freaking dumpster fire, man. Ugh. Going to be no liquidity. It's going to suck. And they're like, it'll be fine. This dude was telling it'll be fine. What do you mean it'll be fine? How will it be fine? Anyway, doesn't matter. Guess we'll see. For the 16 people trading nickels that can move in and out of it. Stupid. Anyway, all right. Let's talk some AI news because there's a lot of cool AI news. It kind of reverts back. Oh, sorry, wrong button. Come here. There we go. Let me pull up my AI news. Boop. AI, where is it? Come here. There we go. All right. Here's what's going on. Nvidia is expanding. So they're not happy just with chips. They want to make some moves. So, and we had talked about it last week. California-based chip maker has been, swinging for the fences. Is a fair statement. They're trying to grab that 1 trillion market cap. They did really good after they reported earnings. And AI assets and companies that have AI exposure have buoyed the entire S&P 500. So this is where this kind of bleeds over into everything that everybody else is doing. If the people that you're talking to, if this isn't the main thing that you're hearing, if this isn't the main thing, then I don't know. I think that maybe the people you're listening to are on the shelf. And Howard, you weren't going to put $500,000 into Cogito. Go quit it. Quit trying to win the chat. You weren't putting $500,000 into nothing. No one puts $500,000 into some rando project. So stop it. All right. Howard wins it. I was going to put 600. I was going to put no, you weren't. All right. Okay. So let's talk Nvidia. Their CEO kicked off Computex Taipei, which is Asia's largest computer tech trade show, with some pretty incredible announcements. One, the full production of the GeForce RTX 4080 Ti GPU for gamers. So just think really big graphics cards. Two, the NVIDIA Avatar Cloud Engine, ACE, for games, which I'm going to show you a preview of that in a second, and it is badass. Howard, I wasn't putting in $5. Yeah, but you weren't putting in $500,000 either, right? Like, calm down, everyone. Everyone calm down. I wasn't putting in $500,000. All right. The success of the NVIDIA CUDA, C-U-D-A, computing model, and this basically allows devs to use really powerful graphics cards to speed their programs up, kind of behind the scenes. They talked about the production of the HGX H100 GPU server. So this is a really big kind of computer server for AI. Why the H100 is interesting is it dumbs down a lot of the kind of code heavy background that you would need to mess with these. So think the A100 is badass. The H100 is more badass, but simpler. So it's simple. It's easier to put into use. Anyway, NVIDIA's partnership They discussed their partnership with SoftBank, which, of course, SoftBank gets in. SoftBank's got its hands in everything. Mostly losers, but they do invest in everything. They are looking at distributed data centers in Japan. So essentially, it gives them these super chips to host their own AI data. You start hearing chips, AI chips. What you don't hear is AI chips. You hear AI data hosted on big chips, super chips, this and that. What you don't hear is AI chips. That brings you back to true AGI, which luckily has 0 people from the Cogito team involved. Whew. It's also a pure equity play. Okay. So that's kind of cool. And then finally, NVIDIA talked about a sponsorship with WPP, which is the world's biggest advertising agency, and they're going to use AI to generate ad creative. Microsoft talked, sorry. Everybody talked about that last week. Probably the biggest one would be Meta. Now Microsoft did talk about a lot of stuff, but that's all last week. That was like a year ago in AI terms. That was like 6 days ago. Anyway, probably a lot of it seems like techy kind of mumbo jumbo, but it is the kind of mumbo jumbo that is lifting the shareholder value for NVIDIA quite dramatically. Okay, Cerebrum is deploying machine learning models in kind of a cool way. And so they basically build and deploy AI models really, really quickly. They're working with Twilio, Ramp, Writesonic, things like that. So they have serverless GPU deployment. So think of it as like, oh, I want to leverage all this stuff, but I don't have the infrastructure. Cool. You go hook up with them. They'll set up your infrastructure. So if you have I don't want to say if you have a business. If you have a business, like a whole business, if you're a business owner, anybody here that is a business owner and you want to AI bling your company, you probably contact True AGI because they do AGI as a service, where they go through your entire, it's pretty wicked. Anyway, but there's a lot of companies that are getting into this. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Chat GPT, this is pretty funny. Chat GPT goes to court and maybe makes some information up. A lawyer's reliance on Chat GPT, he probably wasn't using for a court filing has backfired due to his AI's inclination to invent certain facts. Attorney Stephen Schwartz submitted a brief prepared with Chat GPT's assistance. This is why you have to go back and go through there's plugins, there's legal plugins for GPT-4 that you can use to make sure that the information you're getting is actually real information. So anyway, he submitted a brief. He used GPT. He didn't check it with FindLaw, LexisNexis, or any of these other resources. And unfortunately, there was some hallucination. And so the AI generated research included some non-existent court cases. The other legal team discovered the fabrications when they couldn't find the cited cases in a legal database. So the robots are not going to take your jobs just yet. However, again, this guy wasn't using available. There are 3 really nice available plugins. You can go to the plugin store, like for GPT, and they have 3 legal plugins that would have solved this. So this is a case of Stephen Schwartz being a cheap attorney. He used the $20 service when he needed to spend an extra $16 a month on those plugins. So now he looks like a dumbass. And a bunch of lawyers are like, ChatGPT is not going to take my job. Okay. I hope that works out for you guys. Anyway, and gals, and lawyer pronouns undisclosed. All right. AI pioneer calls for swift regulation to protect humanity. Okay. One way or another, the T1000s are probably coming. Right? But the time, the direction, and the way that they will interact with us is probably mostly determined by which team ushers in AGI, which is general intelligence. Then you get into some thinking like, okay, for those of you that missed it, we did a show last week. I think it was Thursday, where we talked about alignment, agency, and theory of mind. I would go back and watch that show. That's pretty important. You kind of want to be up on that. But anyway, Yoshua Bengio, a leading figure in AI. Matter of fact, Ben Gortzel cites him a lot. I don't know if they're super buddies. I think they do butt heads a little bit, but they both a lot of mutual respect. Anyway, he's a leading AI figure, talker, kind of thought leader. I'm always dubious to say thought leader, but there you go. He emphasized the urgent need for governments to regulate AI technology to prevent potential risks. Which has anyone here seen a market made better by AI by government regulation? Just raise your hand. Anybody who's seen an example in nature of really good regulation by government officials? Is there any place where that's ever gone right? I know there's got to be some market somewhere, but I don't know what it is. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of good examples, but I don't know that the octogenarian put money in your back pocket as fast as possible bunch of regulators that we currently have is maybe the right group to put thoughtful regulation as we approach or try to approach Triple H AGI. Helpful, hopeful, harmless, right? On that path to benevolent AGI. I don't think the team that we have in place is the team. And so how many countries are there? Like 200 and something? Like the something is like a high number. Let's call it 300. Let's say there's 300 countries worth their weight in salt. Do you think that all 300 are going to pass equal kumbaya regulation because some fat, rich, white thieves here in the U.S. just think it into existence? Oh, when? Is it after that they're arguing about whether to pay their tax debt? Is it after they admit that they're never paying down the like continuing U.S. debt? Like never. So I guess I wonder if everyone on earth is gonna just go, oh well, those guys in the U.S. said it, so we're definitely gonna do that. Like we're definitely gonna regulate all this. I wonder how they look at U.S. regulation in like, North Korea or Russia or China or anywhere that's not the U.S. I mean, I just get a lot of like quiet, like under the breath FUs and like eye rolling and all this kind of stuff. Like, who do they think they are type stuff. Anyway, we'll see how that works out. But anyway, he warns that AI systems rapidly approaching human level intelligence pose unforeseen dangers. Bengio, it's like, yes, man, but you don't need 167 IQ to say that human level intelligence software may be dangerous for humans. No kidding, man. Like, that's like someone going like, it's like the president he's giving a presser. I want to tell everyone, I want to proclaim that the sun is very hot. Thanks, genius. Do not stick your hand in the sun. If you drop your keys in molten lava, do not reach down and grab them. Okay, thanks, regulators. Like, get off the gas, man. Anyway, like common sense 101, right? Anyway, Joshua urges scientists, citizens, experts, and governments to work together to understand, it's hard to read it without giggling, to understand potential negative scenarios of AI. What do you mean? Get together and watch Terminator 1 through 4. It pretty much tells you what you need to know. Then watch District 9. Like, what else do you need? Hello? Maybe Elysium on top of it with Matt Damon when he's like the kind of robot-y dude. Like, what? We have all of our we have all of our our reference material. Just the Terminator series alone gets you there. Anyway, he wants to highlight potential negative scenarios of artificial intelligence and highlight the risk of technology like ChatGPT propagating disinformation. Yes, in the early stages. Well, thank God that ChatGPT is the only place that gives out misleading information. Thank God social media is so safe and trusted. The same social media, by the way, that he used to propagate his message that AI is propagating bad information. Like, sometimes I wonder if these dudes look in the mirror and do they see some kind of like glimmering God character, like here to save the rest of us dumb humans? Like, let me save the idiots from themselves. And we're just like eating like chicken bones. We're like scratching chicken bones together and just like looking up occasionally. Like, get off the rant box, dude. Anyway, he suggested he suggested making it illegal to impersonate humans. Bad news for those troll farms and, of course, anybody using any of the cool apps that, which, by the way, I'm going to show you in just a second, a really cool thing that like Nvidia is putting together. It's super cool. Anyway, so yeah, and real quick, there's some cool resources out there. For those of you that are messing with AI and having fun with it, there's a great thing called short form. And again, I'm not going to put links. You just have to go look it up. There's a thing called short form that summarizes web pages and video. It's kind of cool. Just look up short form AI. There's Zoo, which is an open source playground for AI models. There's one that I actually just downloaded today, which is called, I think it's called Mobile Diffusion. Yeah. Mobile Diffusion. It's badass. It puts a language model, it puts a diffusion model on your phone and you can just generate art offline. Just, it's yours. You do it. Have fun. You pay nothing. It's badass. YT Summary, which is the thing that summarizes YouTube videos, which is pretty cool. Polyspeak, it's a language learning tool that kind of like, but it teaches you for languages. Badass. Simuli, which I've talked about before. It helps you generate blog content like automatically from scratch. So does, I use another one. There's one that generates really cool blog. I mean, I don't do any blog stuff. I'll find it. Oh, Jounce, 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 really cool. Just again, look it up. For those of you that are looking for some kind of automated tax filing, Tax GPT, there's a thing called iVisor, which is crazy, right? But it's a AI advisor for your LinkedIn page, right? And it helps you kind of manage your LinkedIn page, which again, eventually you're just going to have like your own AI model that's it's your own personal Jarvis that just manages all this stuff, and it will go out in God mode and it will autonomously do all this stuff. But we're in the early days. We're in like the first 6 months of real AI. So the stuff I'm talking about, this kind of mind-bending stuff, that's not going to be till like the end of the summer, way off in the end of the summer. So like, don't worry about all that stuff now. If you want to code faster, there's a thing called Codify AI. That's badass. You can look at ZBrain if you want to build Chat GPT apps with private data, and it's like really fast. Anyway, there's a lot of cool stuff. Just don't close your mind off to what's going on with AI. Real quick, UNESCO unveiled a new AI roadmap for classrooms because, this is a thing where people are like, what can and can't we use AI for inside a classroom? Well, AI passed an advertising Turing test for the first time. It's crazy. So UNESCO convened a global meeting of education ministers to address the opportunities, challenges, and risks posed by generative AI tools in education. There were 40 ministers involved who shared policy approaches and plans to integrate these tools into the education system. This is a good thing. And UNESCO survey study revealed that only a small percentage of schools and universities have formal guidance on AI. The reason is they're scared to death that you won't pay them $45,000 a year for your kid to go to school when you realize all the kid needs is GPT on his phone. No one wants to say that. You want to teach your kid to be smart? Teach them how to ask questions like a human, right? I'm not going to, I'm not even going to touch that question. Anyway, there we go. So that's kind of the news, the AI news, which is some cool news, man. Okay, I got to show you this thing that I found. It's pretty cool. It has to do with the that we're talking about Nvidia. Let me see if I can get it full screenage. Okay, let's see if we can get this. Let me know. I hope the sound is good. Well, the sound is not super important. It's the rendering. It's the rendering, which is cool, right? So this was text to render. And so they're going to be using it to make video game characters, they're going to be using it for all sorts of really cool character based stuff like games and all this. And what's cool about this one, I mean, the voice is not all that interesting. It's just two people talking. One of them's a real person and one of them's a robot. And so this would be like in-game, cool in-game stuff. But just, I like the way it's rendered. I like how beautiful it is. I can make it a little bigger. So the mouths are getting better, but this would be actual in-game play. We start thinking like, how good is virtual reality going to be? Real good. It's going to be like really, really flipping good. So we got a lot of cool stuff to look forward to. Oh, oh yeah, they're talking about God. There's like so much going on. Adobe, you can in. I'm going to end it here, but Adobe Photoshop just released a bunch of new tools where you can render in Photoshop and do. God, it's wicked, dude. It's so cool. Anyway, there's just so much coming. So I would just say, Stephen Van Meter said Nvidia has a massive stock selling. Well, I don't know if I would be pivoting off of what Stephen Van Meter said. I think he's been statistically wrong. He's kind of like Kramer. Like he's a guy that kind of understands the economy, but I just see like a glint in his eye that looks a little vacant. Like sometimes you see the glint in Ben Gortzel's eye and you're like, oh, he knows something he's not telling me. And then you see the glint in Stephen Van Meter's eye and you realize that it goes nowhere. Like if you look into that glint, it's just gazing out into the deep recesses of space and there's just nothing behind it. Anyway, have a good one. We will endeavor to bring you new news. Okay, tomorrow on Digital Heavyweights, we're going to continue with repo. We're going to be talking bespoke, like 2-party, 3-party repo. We're going to be talking about repo fails, GC repo, all sorts of cool stuff. So that's fun. Yeah, there we go. Okay. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Let's see. Did you miss out on the heavyweights getting into True AGI? No. It wasn't like we did something for 13 seconds and you missed it. Come on, man. We're gonna find a way to get Digital Heavyweights access to True AGI. I will say that right now. I don't know what that will look like. I mean, there's a lot more behind the scenes, but we are working on it diligently. And if it's legally possible, we let the lawyers determine that. But if it's legally possible, and we're exploring that, then we will make sure that the Digital Heavyweights have some form of access to True AGI. Again, we got to let the lawyers that don't use ChatGPT tell us that we can do something like that. All right. So we'll see you tomorrow for Digital Heavyweights. Stay in school. Don't do drugs. Don't do anything that my poor, insolvent, drunk, strung out on meth grandmother or Emeg or Ryan would not do. And remember, as you're thinking about all the things like that are changing, not just like with Money Morning, but just in your entire everywhere, change is a good thing. We need to constantly be changing. If you're comfortable and complacent, you drown. That's it. You're either swimming or drowning. So I just think swimming is probably so much better. All right. I will see you soon. Deuces out.